So yes, indeed, this is the ESORMA portal, and so this is the front screen. Probably the most important part. There's a couple of parts that I think are important, but I'm going to redesign this screen actually, because we've been with this screen for a little while now. But the two links probably the most important are updates and 12 days to Christmas. 12 days to Christmas because that takes you swiftly to, what is it, 78 odd free resources. I'll just click there. Where we ran this 12 day to Christmas campaign. And on each day we release something new. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff there. We'll probably go through it later. A home button, you can get straight back here again. The other one is this updates link. So I'm thinking of moving this image just to a smaller place, smaller square, and running all the latest down one column, so you don't have to go anywhere to see it. But all the latest takes us up to about 31st of January, a couple of days ago. Now, yeah, 28th of January, 15th, 1st of January. So a couple of events taking us back to when we first went live publicly. There we go, October, although we were using it a little bit before then. And the fundamental design stayed the same, but we've increased the functionality a heck of a lot, added a lot more content, haven't we?
Yeah.
Let's just see.
Right, I've just typed a message just to test that the questions part is working.
Yeah, now, who was it? I'm just looking at my LinkedIn. I was talking to Gerint, in fact, earlier, and he was going to join us this evening. But he's very keen. He doesn't look like he's actually online at the moment, so I'll send him a quick message. Just
yeah, it is a time when people are probably just finishing work and might be logging on now.
yeah, I'd say we're live now. Why not join us? Just in cases. I think you have some interesting things, some updates to share. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, okay. So one thing, I need to hit the record button. Stop recording. Okay, it's recording. Okay, if you're all happy with this, we are recording. So yeah, this is the beginning. Well, this has been around this design since October, and I don't know, at some point during January, well, February now, maybe March, I'm going to get, well, I'll do it one page at a time, and I'll probably be changing this home page to bring these two columns to life, updates and 12 days to Christmas. I might relabel that 12 days to Christmas to explain what it is, because now it's not Christmas. Obviously, we've got a new members page, which takes us to a few more resources, tells you a bit more about what happens here, getting to know ESORMA, which fundamentally, ESORMA was a book, what we wrote, and I did have it right here. There we go, never far. You can see this on the camera. So cybersecurity, we changed the front cover design slightly, so it's just now cybersecurity quick start guide, because it's a practical guide, step by step, of how to run cybersecurity in practice. It's not comprehensive, it's meant as a quick start. We could have made it 1,000 pages. It is 185. Even then, some people think this is suggested this is too long. I've tested it. It's a 2.5 hour page-to-page read. I'm not sure that's too long. because there's 8 sections in ESORMA, you could do just one section at a time. And there's a workbook included, as it says on the front cover. And so each section has a workbook and refers to resources. And this website, this portal, was originally created simply to house the extra resources, which we've added to a few times. We have Richard with us as well. Good afternoon, Richard. Apparently you need to enter a PIN if you'd like to join us or not be muted. Something's happening. I press the button. There we go. So, okay, fine. It says attendee is self-muted, which is fine. Oh, and is muted. So, no, just self-muted, which is great. Okay, so guys, other visitors with us, I've made it so that you can. There you go, James. Hello, James. Okay.
Evening.
Hello, evening. Honestly, we're all puzzled with this GoToWebinar thing. It's really easy, really, but it always just takes us a while, doesn't it? I was just talking through the portal here for Richard. I think you were keen to see this. We exchanged a couple of emails. Richard, I think you might be, you're able to leave a message in chat, by the way. But I get the feeling, but I'm not sure. You're based in the US? These internet connections, I can't be sure with everything. But anyway, I'll just be interested to know. You don't need to tell me. Oh, we have another joiner. Can't see who it is. Someone else is joining us at the moment. So good. It's all happening. Okay, so yeah, the portal was originally set up just as a place to hold, a digital place to hold the resources for this book. We now have several other books. So this particular icon here, which currently is linked to and talked about on most pages, so the quick start, etc., has its own menu. But this menu is going to change to be referred to as something exciting like books. I don't know. I'm not sure. It might be publications, but it's got too many words. Books, too many characters. So it might just be books, or might even be resources or book. I don't really want to go with 2 words. Should, I suppose, say book resources, but books is probably what it'll end up. And then ESORMA itself will get one area, and that will allow the opportunity for other books and in the series to appear here. And just to give you an idea, Amazon, yeah, ESORMA. There we go. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, well, this was listed as I can't see the link, as a series. No, that's not helping. Okay, well, there are other books in the series. Let's just go back to this to see if I can see it. Okay, well, that's it. Yeah, so we'd love more reviews, please. It's great that we've got a couple. But if you've downloaded a copy and you like it, by all means, send us a review. We only accept 5-star reviews in this town. But no, honestly, it'd be a great help to help other people discover it, of course. So this is just the workbook that's been surprisingly popular for people that want to run courses around this. So if you're running that kind of thing, then that's handy, but obviously not with COVID around. But a couple of people have bought a few sets, so I don't know if it's getting posted out or how that's working. I look forward to feedback on that. But this is brand new. This has been out for a couple of weeks, and it's just actually just a book of very simple. There's what they call low content. It's a book of risk templates, and you might think, well, why have we done this? What is the point? Well, there's a couple of points really. Firstly, we're often talking to people, and this is a whole point, and getting to the point of why the ESORMA platform has kind of expanded. We talk to a lot of people, especially CISOs in security, who want to promote the idea and the awareness of security principles within their organization. And I just classically had a conversation the other day, I repeated it a few times, where mid-conversation, suddenly the CISO kind of blurted out and said, but there's 3,200 people, how do I get around to all of them? And the answer is partly, well, one at a time, mate. Probably not the best answer. I did expand on it. And it requires a CISO basically to inspire and lead department heads or remote departments to undertake security actions. And I think that the core message which I talk about in my presentation book is about making the ideas theirs. The more we can make security about them and not about us, the better it is actually for them and us, because it is about them ultimately in securing their part of the business. The problem with most organizations is they consider the CISO the security guy, and that everything has to be done and it's his responsibility or her responsibility, when in fact it's everyone's responsibility. But at in a world of remote working and reduced budgets, why would any of us want to take on even more work? And when it comes to security, work that we probably wouldn't understand, right? So you can fully get into why people within an organization don't want to embrace security, and especially with remote working. So, my colleague that I was talking to was, astounded that he had to get around to 3,200 people. And then the question was, well, what should they do? And I said, well, first of all, you should, really engage with the department heads, engage with them, get them motivated. And then what you really need to do is put things in their hand. He said, what? And he kind of laughingly scoffed, risk assessments. And I said, well, that's a good place to start. Why not? Even if they do it wrong, you get a catalogue of the equipment, and if they start doing something wrong, you can fix it and they can start getting it right. And he said, yeah, but I send out these spreadsheets and they just don't come back. No one's motivated to fix them. So I said, well, does it look motivational? Is it complex? Do they need special equipment? He said, well, first of all, it's only really good for most people if they have a laptop. Not everyone does. So I said, well, there's your first problem. But the secondly is they don't see it as their responsibility. So I've taken a couple of pages at the beginning to kind of describe why it might well be, who this book for, might well be their responsibility, and just talk about the big picture. The power of better risk management. So I'm just really getting to the point here. It's just a few words, not much. And then some actual risk templates, risk assessment templates that they can fill in. So asset description, ID number, date, who created it, what the risk scenario is, whatever the asset does. And then the previous copy kind of explains some of these terms, but they're fairly easy to understand. And the overall rating. The whole idea is you don't need power, you don't need a laptop. You can actually take this book, no matter the weather, and literally with a pen or pencil, fill it in. And then on the other side of the page, you've got these things. Again, pick them, mark what you want to do, leave notes, and then rip the page out or cut it out, but don't leave it in the book, or photocopy it. But I don't recommend that either, because this information is valuable, as I explained in the opening copy. But cut it out and put it in the internal post if that's the safest way, or get it back in some other way, photograph it, and email it, or and then eat it, whatever, however you destroy it, it doesn't matter. But these records, once they're complete, need to be destroyed or posted on. So that's simply a practical process that people can go through. And that's some of the purpose of the books, which is to undertake actual risk assessments and to go through the process of actually, informing and undertaking risk practices. Yeah, so that's what that's all about. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I just unmuted you again, so that's good. I don't know how the system just suddenly mutes people.
No, I didn't mute it myself for a short while. So it's okay.
Okay, well, you should be able to do that. That's great. Anyway, it needed me to unmute you for some reason. So yeah, lots of reasons to go for ever strong cyber protection. That's the resources in some of the books and where we started, why we did it, and even now the book process is continuing, and how I plan to carry on using this portal to accommodate more books we're writing on the subject. I got 2 in play at the moment, 2 more. A beginner's guide for small businesses, and also a process for freelance business development. So for skilled practitioners who want to offer their services to third-party businesses, I'm putting together a book called Business Cybersecurity Essentials, which is fundamentally aimed at the business practices involved to get your business to a much higher level of protection, which should be a stepping stone towards, or in the direction of, ISO 27K and of course Cyber Essentials itself, something which individual companies can either do themselves or work through with a consultant. And I think in the main, it'll probably end up with 50-50 people using consultants to support them. But of course, as we know, it's a journey that doesn't really end, rather than a short-term fix. And I emphasize that as well, that it's all about building capability within an organization over time. And it's because of that, that's why I felt it's been worthwhile to expand this. So we've added more membership area content specifically for page for new members. As a reminder tool where you could just type in various, there you go, called Garint, who still doesn't, well, it looks like might be trying to join us. And it tells us when, 19 days ago in this case, what about, and any notes I want to add. And I can quickly click on that, edit that, update it, put a new date on it. So yeah, make it tomorrow. Hey, you missed it, but here's a replay, something like that. And save it, and it's updated. So that's a bit of luck, wasn't it? It worked live. Not normal, is it, Mustafa?
Yeah.
So I created a bit of a library here. So some of our favourite books from CISM, about CISM. I've uploaded some of the classic documents from, I can't see what it is, the National Cyber Centre. They're free guides, etc., posters and things. And then over, I don't know, a couple of years, some of the better downloads that I've found have been recommended. And then again at the bottom, I've linked to some more books that seem to be quite popular. So that's our library. So click here to suggest new content. And I have had, it's not there. So yeah, a couple of the members of the site have actually uploaded content, and I've spoken to them about it. It's all been good. But I've moved it away from the library and pushed it somewhere else, and I'll show you where that is next, or in a moment. There are other places. Latest update, that's where it is in the menu item, which I touched on right at the beginning. So this is a month by month breakdown. There we go. There's the camera. Popped off. And we're back. There we go. Okay, there we go. Mastermind interviews, a lot of people don't realise this is here. This actually with Richard Wardley, I believe, Simon Wardley, and his Wardley maps, loads of resources in that. Oh, that's that video starting to play. So yeah, it was an interview I did, 37 minutes. There are loads of resources, and somewhere in here, I need to pull them out actually. Mentioned them in the video. You'll find them in the copy as well. But yeah, there's lots of resources that he refers to, which largely revolve around the word Wardley. Would you be surprised? But he's a really interesting person to talk to, as were some of these people. So Chris Gunner, CISO, Michael McPherson, CISO. Now he's not changed his name, but he prefers to be called Mehmet or Emmett. Do you remember Mustafa? Anyway,
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
time of recording, he was a Mike and had been a Mike for many years, and he's come out and admitted that he's really an Emmett. I believe Mike was his middle name, and he went by Mike for years because it just saved a lot of trouble. But anyway, really good guerrilla tactics he discusses there. And this one, Nigel, nothing to do with security, actually, but more concerned and related to that question of, that classic statement of, oh my God, there's 3,200 people here. So understanding who you're working with, who you are, or as Nigel refers to it, what kind of animal do you work with? What kind of animal are you? Understanding who you are or where you are in the animal kingdom and who the animals you work with. Some people, well, I think just about everybody relates to this. It's quite humorous, but gets you thinking as well that there are different types of people out there. And he talks through about how to cope with the different types of people, and the lions, the elephants, and the dolphins, and so on. Really interesting stuff. So really good there. And another, I don't know, 45-minute, hour, I can't remember. There we go. 28 minutes, that one. So it plays and then pauses, which is my preference. Otherwise, I'd be fighting with it. 12 Days to Christmas, I touched on earlier. That's where it's accessed in this members. So it's all free content. You don't have to pay anything or be an actual subscriber. This is all provided free. Each time I leave reference to something, I start, of course, with a link to the book, because I could have cheated and just listed all the tips from the book, and I'd have ended up probably more than 78. But I might as well just say, well, tell you what, go get the book. None of these are actually in the book. These are all beyond the book, and I'll take you through some of those and show you where they are. So that is just simply this page, simply a menu to where they are, and it kind of enumerates them. The welcome page, quick start workshops. So these are the workshops from the actual book. So if you just want to pull one of them out, I just clicked on it. I probably shouldn't have done. Now I'm going to load up Obscura View on a screen somewhere. No, luckily I don't think I clicked it fast enough, so that's good. But the actual workshop from the book is there. So if you want to do a printout and write on that rather than write on the book, or if you have a Kindle version of the book, you can print this off and do the workshop. So that's the point. Resources, so various chapters, domain 1, domain 2, domain 3. We still don't have resources for domain 4 worked out. 5 or 6, 7 and 8 are both case studies. It's a couple of 4 case studies in there, but it's a full-blown case study. We refer to some of these case studies in the book, but the original case study is uploaded and available there. Okay, thing called ESORMA points. So across here, you can see I've got 5,343 points, 18 silver, and a couple of golds. Well, none for me. These reflect just the amount of participation that you have with the site. How many pages you've looked at, what pages you've looked at are listed elsewhere, and your history, as it were. Silver is when you upload or share something, and gold when you're a subscriber or fundamentally buy something. And then at some point, points will mean prizes. We're not sure what they are, but we're intending to publicly display them anyway. So it's some kind of meritocracy system that we'll use more fully as time progresses, but we built it in. So you've probably heard that we do webinars every month, public webinars. So the first webinar we did was Scope, and you can see they just instantly load. Sorry, these have all been cut up into short chunks. So 5 minutes and 8, 6:51, 2 minutes 3, and so on, from an hour long. And we kind of break down what the various parts are here. We've done that for priority, the second one, and the third one. I've done it also for the fourth one, but I haven't actually cut it up. So this is the whole webinar, but I have cut it up. I just haven't loaded it up. So this is the fourth one, the whole of it. And then the latest one, which was this month, a week ago, also, it was a couple of days, no, beginning of this week, wasn't it? There we go.
Yeah.
We kept to our 1 hour. Okay, we strayed by 3 minutes, but the originals of all of these were an hour. And I think, I would say this, I think we got better at it. Don't you, Mustafa?
Oh yeah, definitely. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, we worked out how to do it. And the first time we did it was, it was our best shot. We delivered some good content nevertheless. But you can see even how we got better, we matured as we got through. So next month, we're looking to do the domain 6 monitor. And I was waiting for you to get back to me on that, Mustafa.
Yeah, definitely. I'll update you on that tonight.
Don't mean to drop you in it, really. It's not much of a drop, is it? We're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So that's just exclusive. Now, if you happen to be a subscriber, there are extra, I don't know if I am, yeah, okay. So I am as I'm registered as a subscriber, I get access to the actual transcripts, and I've also made an MP3 recording. So there are additional benefits of being a subscriber. One of which is what you would be subscribing to is actually this newsletter. So this newsletter, what we call vulnerability. Unfortunately, this is getting between me and the camera, so I can't quite see what we're doing. But basically, there we go. It's just a fairly straightforward kind of 8-page newsletter. This is the primary benefit with that's not the primary, it's not the only benefit, but it has deeper content really, which is designed to help CISOs with their communication issues that we all face in the world of security. And of course, it gives greater, deeper access to further areas within the portal area, which we're just about to get to. So there we go. So everything so far and in the resources section is completely free. So we have hot tips. So now I need to turn these off. So we just have a couple of interesting videos in here so far. These have just been loaded up by me almost as placeholders to see if people are interested, some of our members. And our members appear to be interested in different things. So the content is growing. Here was one, I think. Yeah. So Stephen Harris came up with 10-minute OSINT tooltips, and here is a link to, I think it's his website. Yeah, so we're quite happy to link out. And there's a quick summary of what it's about. And he's got content of merit worth sharing. So there we go. And it looks like he's turned that into a video. Okay, so maybe I should load in the video, which may well do. All right, so there are more for you to look through here. So we've got cybersecurity news, LinkedIn groups. So we've got news providers in here, blog roll, various top blogs about security, various interesting articles and posts, open source tools, which we just looked at, hardware vendors, software providers, organizations. I'm just interested to see how this goes. I think the more members we have, the more interaction we get. That seems to be how it works. So please do refer a friend, and there's a refer a friend process, which is very simple in here, and there you go. You get ESORMA points, 1 silver point. You just enter their first name. We'll do the rest. We don't actually store that email. We don't email them beyond this page. So only the email recipient will receive your request once. We will mention the site, of course, ESORMA. This is what you would be inviting them to. Who sent it, i.e. you, and your email address too. So if they want to complain, they can complain to you, but they shouldn't have any reason to do so. But this hopefully would facilitate, well, it has already. It does work because we've had some friends already referred. And I think it might be how Richard Jackson joined us. I mentioned, I just name checked you there. Okay. Anyway, it's proved to be reasonably popular, but we need more people, please. So please invite them along. I would like to open up and build this community. So the superpowers area. So this is the newest part, really, is the area for subscriber benefits. So we start with a very open welcome page. We then have some checklists. These are quite, well, I enjoyed writing them, that's for sure. These are interactive and it's quite straightforward, really, but I'll just run through one. I haven't tested this for a while. So 3 simple questions. I'll just close it, actually. This is all about, is attitude to risk shared? And many companies have the wrong kind of culture to actually manage risk in the first place. So if you're responsible for managing risk for an organization, the absolute first thing you need to do is to really understand the culture, because if the culture is wrong, then perhaps you could start doing something to fix it. And often the board has one view of what the culture is or should be, and then the front line or operations actually live the culture, which is going to depend often on the interests, willingness, or relationship they have with their line managers. So hence, actual culture can be quite different. So if there is a difference, this is actually going to be the biggest thing that could actually stop you. Everyone gives you smiling faces because they're nice people, but actually they're under enormous pressure, which you may not appreciate, especially if it's a remote site. So this simple questionnaire, which you could run with people online, by paper, or through this system, share screening if you want, can help to resolve. I'm just going to refresh the page. So refresh this page before running the checklist again. So the first question is only 3. Does your enterprise actively learn from negative outcomes? And I'm going to say, yeah, we really do, or no, we really don't. So let's start with a negative. Absolutely. Is your enterprise compliant? Again, you'll know this. And I'll say, do you know what? We're in financial services. We absolutely have to be, and we are. Does your enterprise have a conservative approach to risk? Most probably. I think I've generally seen that within our financial services organization. We do have a conservative approach to risk. So I'm going to give that another, well, I'll give it an 8. And there we have a simple graphical response. And ideally, the 3 points need to be outside of the red triangle. So there's our target. And here, our current maturity level for that point, which is negative outcomes, is 10, because in our organization, we tend to blame each other. Obviously, if we blamed each other less, I would raise that amount. If we never blamed each other, I'd make it 100. So just a sliding degree. That's a management view, and that's just 3 questions. I saved you the time of your life by not running through 20 questions and explaining every point. You just end up with a differently shaped diagram with 20 points, but fundamentally, the green areas need to be outside and beyond the red area. And this is what I call the management view, the top level view, the level down view. Level down view, top down view. Big picture, the kind of at a glance information that management likes to see. Although ideally, they would like to see numbers, financials, if at all possible. But this at a glance tells anyone we're ahead on these 2 points. Simple explanation. This is where we need to put the effort. On the other hand, if you're charged now with making that difference, you want the detail. So from that same questionnaire, we've come up with some simple answers or straightforward answers that depend or vary according to the level of answer. So we've got a hugely negative 1 out of 10. If you can't learn from negative outcomes, missed opportunities, losses are likely to be a costly problem over time, affecting the bottom line, staff retention, and perhaps cause avoidable grievances. So obviously, food for thought and something to deal with. And, you know, you really learn when you ask people these questions. And the point is to ask the question, and it's super fast, as you've just seen, because most people in security don't really know what the view is. And if we don't get this top level right, the chances of being successful within that organization are going to be difficult to manage. Okay, so considerations here, what I just said really, top level diagrams, and then bottom up, the difference, why they're useful, where they're useful, and how to add value. That's it, simple example. There's more. So this is asset valuation. So now we've got 11 questions. I'm just going to quickly just not worry about what the questions are, but I'm just going to squeeze out a result and see where we go. And as you can see, I'm completely just little and large, doing some in the middle, some at the top. And good God, it worked. How can that be? So the asset valuation checklist. This is live, folks. Might not have worked. So there's the 11 points: safety, contracts, third parties, impact, reputation, value, cost, legal. And we can see some of the green areas are beyond the target maturity level where we'd like to be, and some are below. So we can see at a glance where we excel, and we can see at a glance where we need further work. Average rating on this case, 50%. And just a little bit of detail. And then again, an individual detail on every single question. Okay, so that's your top-down visualization. Where are you in terms of asset valuation? And here's your bottom-up, the work that we need to do, where based on our strengths and our weaknesses. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to go through everyone. Those are the checklists. And I'm at an advanced stage in creating a control panel where these are all summarized. So at the moment, you run one of these tests, it is actually stored, but at the moment you can't access the checklist again. It just shows you on the screen. Best you can do is print it off, store it as, save it as a PDF, which in the short term, why not? You just label it according to how you've used it. But shortly, maybe in the next month, we should be able to label these within the system and save them. And that would be a delivery that I would deliver to our subscriber members, because that's quite a lot of effort. BCP DRP training, that's just 50 minutes, 4-part quick start BCM DRP plan. So that's business continuity management, disaster recovery, just to help people to move along quickly. My experience is a lot of people, you know, get to the point where they think they need to install ISO 27K or NIST or Cyber Essentials. And it's usually to do with the fact that they need those certifications in order to do business with certain people, certain partners. Some organisations, though, just decide that they ought to be done because it would be a smart thing to do. They need to smarten up their security. They've got worries about security, and to be secure to a standard is a good thing. So I completely understand that. However, that may well be a management view. Typically, the employee view is, oh my God, another job to do. It's not my area. It's not my responsibility. We'll let the security professionals do it for us. And that's where I get the call from the IT guy. Good God, there's 3,200 people here. Because the IT people have been tasked with doing it. They don't normally speak to 3,200 people. So in other words, there's a big divide that seems to occur again and again and again within organizations when the management says, you know, install ISO or NIST. It's a great command. I'd love to be able to say that, but the practice of it obviously is quite difficult. I suggest, but you don't have to take my suggestion, but my suggestion often to people is, why not actually focus on installing a business continuity management and disaster recovery plan first? Because it can be done quickly. And the interesting thing is, people get why we want to have business continuity management, and you can communicate with the heads of departments quickly, and it feels like to them that you are doing this with them and for them. They're much more likely to participate. If you do actually complete a business continuity management and disaster recovery plan, you're also going to have most of the information that you need that they have supplied for the ISO 27K, which can now be ran as an administrative process, but actually employed or deployed through a program management basis around business continuity and disaster recovery, which is something the remote departments have already agreed to. So it's a really good way of embedding security or getting security embedded where everyone can get their arm around a short-term win, which is a quick start BCM. So basically, you could produce a quick start BCM within a couple of weeks based on a couple of short phone calls. It won't be accurate. It will definitely not be complete. The chances are, if there was then a disaster, it would fail, okay? But it would fail a lot less than having zero plan, having none at all. And you would be able to, with a basic plan, move to being able to run a practice to evaluate the plan. And through that, you would actually get face-to-face with the people, you get buy into the process, and everyone would start to realize the shortfalls of a quickly put together plan. And so with that knowledge, you'd expand it, you'd enhance it, it would become improved. Everyone would appreciate the benefits, and everyone would live through the success of the outcome being achieved and being a part of it, which is what we want to do when it comes to ultimately installing security or increasing the overall capability maturity. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. Where were we? Okay. So that's the BCP DRP. Now, we have extended this, Mustafa and I, and we're recording for subscriber benefits, subscriber members only. Well, probably about 12 hours, a more detailed plan that leads up to the ISO certification for a business continuity plan within the portal. So obviously anyone who becomes a member will have full access to that. The price won't change for membership. At the moment, the price for membership is dizzy heights of $34.99, which is a half price offer, and it will remain at that level for the first 100 members. So until we have 100 members, that will be the price, 50% off, just as an encouragement and incentive to get started. And we're very happy and delighted to note that we have our first few members, so that's all very good. Similarly for CISSP, that's me again. but also Mustafa was with me on this. The first hour is up there. We've recorded already the second hour. Did we do the third hour? Do you remember?
I believe we did.
Okay, so
it all goes into a blur because we did cover the BCP ones as well, so I can't remember.
Okay.
But we're regularly adding to them. That's what matters.
Yeah, I've definitely passed the next hour for process, and so just waiting for the process to be completed, and then that'll be uploaded. And as you can see, we're doing much what we're doing now. Speaking to camera, hold up artifacts, things of interest or relevance from time to time to the course, but we also work with slides on screens. So I don't know if there's any in here. Yeah, okay, so there's a classic statement. I'll leave it at that anyway. CISSP is wide, not deep. There you go. So that's the kind of bombarding we do on slides. We don't cover them full of text. We just get the key messages across. And that's very important to us because we don't want you struggling to see all this detail. So yeah, more on the kind of support that we offer through this, some of the services that we offer through this to our subscribers, so you're not alone. This is my About Me page, which you wouldn't normally see. So I've got things like control panels, my membership levels, and other bits and pieces. So I'm not really going to go into that. Feedback loop. So this is just a way of sending us messages through the system. So we call it let feedback and let's discuss. Refer a friend. This is where it is in the menu system. And where are we on time? So I've nearly done it in the hour. I've done it completely. And membership rewards. So we talk about, so yeah, I'm noted as a member. It recognizes it, so it doesn't try to run through all the benefits again. It just says thank you for being an ESORMA member, which is what it should be doing because it thinks or it knows I'm a member, which is all good. But as I said, the membership benefits include getting hold of a newsletter. As it happens, we'll send you a signed copy of our book, maybe more than one, by the way, not one of these, but more than one of these, more than one type of book. So we're just waiting for delivery of our risk registers. We just want to put stuff in your hand that makes sense, that you could use, that you get familiar with, just trying to make it easier for you to do your jobs really. And I hope what you can see is that a lot of these resources and things that we share are all designed to help save you time, make you more money, or deliver services more effectively and faster. Do you have a comment now, Mustafa?
No, you covered it quite well. The only thing I can add is, yeah, please do register, even if you're not subscribing yet. The resources that we've seen, most of these that were shown today are free, that you can access apart from the subscriber only section, obviously. And you can add your own as well. Don't forget, we want to build a community of information security experts, professionals, CISOs, where you can share information. And like some of the members have done, you can promote your own resources if they're relevant and helpful to other people in the information security industry. So yeah, the more the merrier. I know there's quite a few people that have joined recently, and yeah, I think the webinars are helping bring people in. But yeah, we want your feedback as well. So obviously we want to improve this and make it a resource, the go-to resource for information security professionals. And yeah, the training as well there's videos, but we do offer consultancy and training on a tailored basis as well for your organization if you need anything like that on any of these topics that we cover: information security, certifications, like CISSP, CISM, etc. ESORMA, of course, our own. And yeah, if you just need advice implementing any of these things in your organization, if you think would be useful, that's another area that you can contact us about. So feel free to use these resources that are there, contact us, provide feedback, and yeah, make use of it. That's all I've got to say, really.
And perfectly said, Mustafa, thank you. The other thing is we've got about 100, there are actually 100 members, not subscribers, but there are about 100 people who have registered, and
yeah,
and some of them even come back.
yeah.
And as I said, some people have referred a friend and that kind of thing. So
yeah, with the resources and the content increasing regularly, yeah, it's worth coming back, because you'll see a lot of more stuff being added, more new stuff, I should say.
Yeah, well, one of the things I found is we talk about a little bit just back then about services that we offer, but I know I can cite a situation with a couple of members where I've got to know them over the last few months and understand their skills. And so when we get an incoming call and a query, and I hope to do much more of this, I actually want to, do some matchmaking and introduce people to people. So that's really useful. I know, for instance, we got James Seaman with us today, who's an author. I was looking at his very high quality books on Amazon today. And he's got one already published recently, another one lined up. It looks like it's going to be out in a few weeks. I think it's just finalizing print, I guess.
Yeah, that's right, middle of March.
Middle of March,
Yeah.
There we go, James.
Middle
Hello.
of March, yeah. Hello.
Hello. And obviously, from what I don't know if you have seen, but we've tried to make this so that it's possible for you to, you don't need anything more apart from to come along to the portal and register with it, and the access is completely free. But from there, you can access these resource pages. Obviously, we could put a link to your book, because it is a book in our library, which I should do for you anyway. But also, you might have some resources, and you were showing me some fun things, so I'm not going to mention what they were. Well, it was a grid system. I can mention that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You may have more to share on that. But the point is that this is an open system for you to share, so you can control what you put up. Or as you saw, another member had done, they'd linked to a web page of theirs, which of course will drive traffic. But just bear in mind that the habit of people is, once they're into something, they're not too happy, like LinkedIn. They like to see content within LinkedIn if possible. They don't really want to jump out of LinkedIn. And I think it seems to be the same here. External links aren't as good as putting content within the system. Anyway, there's absolutely no cost to you or anyone to do. Well, to me there is a very tiny fractional of a penny, probably. Not that I'm bothered by or understand even what that cost is. It doesn't seem to be very, very expensive at all. Certainly at the moment, I suppose is the way to put it. There's no cost. But I don't really see that changing. So there's no reason why you couldn't put both a link as well as actual uploaded content, which is totally built for uploading PDFs, for instance, into this portal area, and claim it as yours. It is yours. We just simply providing this as a service for people that may be interested, but obviously it's dedicated towards cybersecurity, and that's what this whole ESORMA thing is about. We've simply come up with a framework and created this site to support the book, and then had a few ideas, and it's kind of gone. We had this idea that what we wanted to do is to create a framework, a community. To have a community, the first thing we needed really was some content to kind of attract people, and then the content needed to be something that we could roll forward with. So we had to develop it, which was all something very agreeable to do. And then we needed to actually do this weird thing of communicating. And so we have this series of webinars And the amazing thing is every time we run a webinar, we get more people signing up. So it's funny how that works. And some of those people have become subscribers, some have not. You know, it's everyone's choice what they want to do, how they want to play it. We're just really dead keen to facilitate this and to see if we can help as many people as possible, especially the number one thing we want to help people with is to fundamentally get more protection. But we don't really want to, you know, overcomplicate the whole thing. We want to keep it as practical as possible. There's loads of other people that will help you complicate it, lots of systems that you can buy and invest in. We don't really sell or even necessarily recommend them, but if you'd like to sell or recommend them and introduce them via the resources channel, you're welcome to, in the same way as you'd use them anywhere else. And obviously, if one day that got out of hand, we would look at that again. But at the moment, it's certainly not out of hand. This is not one of those heavy sales, we're going to sell you something sites. We're still in that like new age of being able to share good information, and long may it stay that way, and welcome new members. And it does appear there's potentially tens of thousands of us about, potentially hundreds of thousands of us in the US. And there have been, I think Mustafa was talking to me about this, some really interesting communities that have sprung up over the year for CISOs and security specialists. And one rather famous one, or one that had tons of members, has just, they couldn't make it work, I think, financially, or couldn't be bothered with it or something. Anyway, it's fundamentally closed down. Is that right?
Yeah. You're talking about Peerlist, which
right.
It was quite a good resource, but unfortunately, it's no longer available. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can rebuild something like that, which is useful to people.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I'm conscious. So we've been at this for dizzy heights of an hour, and I'm delighted that those that have joined us have stayed with us all the way through. And James, thanks for your participation, and of course Mustafa for your comments. There's a couple of others that are signed in and joined with us today. Would be great to hear from you at some point in the future about your journey as well. Obviously today was not that day. I hope you enjoyed the tour that we gave you. For some of you who may have seen an earlier tour, you should have noticed some changes and hopefully improvements. I think we're definitely going forwards, not backwards with this. But I would like to say thank you very much to everyone and for all of your time. I'm actually perfectly happy to carry on here chatting, but if you have a question, now would be the time, because otherwise I'd be quite happy to wrap up if we finished. So, any questions? Right, we did it all. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, James.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. All right, I'm going to end it now. It's sad. We have to go. Till the next time, till the next one. Bye for now.
Yeah, bye.